Imagine a world where, your deepest fears aren't just inside your head, but they're actually out there, lurking in the shadows, maybe just beyond what you can perceive.
Yeah, like what if all the things we think are solid history, science, even our dreams are just thin veils, hiding something truly unimaginable?
Exactly. So today we're doing a deep dive into the collected works of H.P. Lovecraft. We're going to look at the core elements, that make his cosmic horror so unique.
Our mission really is to pull out those chilling insights about humanity's place in this huge, indifferent, honestly terrifying universe. And we're using the sources you provided, going straight to the text.
We'll explore how these stories challenge our ideas about knowledge, sanity, reality itself. We're drawing from some iconic stuff, early tales like The Tomb, From Beyond, right up to the big ones.
Like at the Mountains of Madness, Whisper in Darkness, Shadow over Innsmouth, and the case of Charles Dexter Ward. Quite a range.
Okay, let's unpack this. A core thing in Lovecraft, especially early on, is how ordinary people just stumble onto these horrors.
Yeah.
And it completely shatters their world.
Mm-hmm. It often starts small, doesn't it? Like it's just an unsettling feeling, maybe a weird encounter.
Totally. And then everything unravels.
What's interesting right away is that it's usually not some monster jumping out, It's the discovery, finding something that's just slightly wrong, a crack in reality.
Yes, exactly. Like in The Tomb, the narrator gets this obsession, this madly unreasoning desire for an old burial vault. He's drawn into its black, chilly depths.
And then he starts hearing things, right? Voices.
Voices, yeah. Described with uncanny differences in vocabulary, pronunciation, and mode of utterance, like old-timey New England dialects. Right. But here's the twist. Someone sees him there, a watcher, but they're somehow deluded into thinking he's just sleeping outside the tomb.
Ah, so he thinks he's being protected.
Right. He thinks some supernatural agency is looking out for him, even while a doctor is diagnosing him with pitiful monomania. Classic Lovecraft.
It is, isn't it? The horror isn't just the spooky tomb itself, it's the mental breakdown. It's how the universe's indifference twists his own mind, making him think he's safe when he's actually
losing it? Yeah. The horror infects the mind. He becomes a victim of his own perception.
That's a key point. It's internal as much as external.
And building on that unsettling reality from beyond takes it a step further. What happens when science, rips open that veil?
Oh, Tillinghast. Yeah, the physical consequences there are something else.
Right. The transformation of Crawford Tillinghast is just horrifying. He goes from stout to thin, skin gets yellow or gray, eyes sunken but glowing.
Uncannily glowing, yeah. And the trembling hands, the unkempt look.
Yeah.
It's a complete physical decay.
And this is after he builds this electrical machine, this device that lets him perceive unseen things.
So it's not just a physical change, it's tied directly to breaking through into this other dimension, this unseen reality. It messes with physics itself.
Precisely. And then there's this soul-petrifying voice speaking through another guy, Joe Slater. It talks about cosmic entity and planet souls.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And that we're all roamers of vast spaces.
Yeah, travelers in many ages. And it even names names, like the demon star Algol being an oppressor. It's giving you this glimpse of a vast, terrifying cosmology.
What's really crucial there, I think, is that Lovecraft isn't just inventing random monsters. He's hinting at a biology, a physics, an existence so utterly alien that it breaks our science.
Completely.
The horror isn't just seeing monsters, it's realizing our whole reality is just a tiny, fragile bubble, and our senses are totally inadequate for what's really out there. That comes up again and again.
And sometimes that horror is hiding in plain sight, in those mundane spots. The picture in the house, for instance. The narrator meets this old guy in a rundown, decayed, unpainted house.
And the way he talks.
Yeah, this extreme form of Yankee dialect. And he gets this shocking ecstasy describing his partial perversion. It strongly implies, cannibalism.
Mm-hmm. And the narrator feels this infinite intensity of loathing. It's that slow, creeping dread. How ancient evil can just linger, hidden away, twisting human nature.
That perversion isn't just immoral, it feels like something deeper, like a transformation.
Exactly. It's a corruption.
And speaking of unsettling old man, you've got the terrible old man. Simple story, but chilling. This old guy with yellow eyes and the hideous smile.
Right. And the robbers, Ricci and Silva.
They go into his house. Screams are heard by a neighbor, Mr. Zanuck. But the robbers never seen again.
And the old man is just leaning on his cane where they should have come out. Quietly.
It's the unexplained nature of the disappearance. That's what gets you.
So yeah, these early tales, they definitely establish a pattern, don't they? You discover some hidden reality, often tied to a place like the tomb or the house, and it leads to corruption. Physical, mental, whatever. It's not just fear of the unknown, it's the fear of becoming the unknown, like Tillinghast, or like whatever happened to those robbers.
Makes you wonder, yeah, how much of our reality is just paper thin, covering up something ancient and awful.
That's the core question, isn't it?
Okay, so here's where it gets really interesting. What happens when it's not accidental? When someone deliberately goes looking for this forbidden knowledge?
The pursuit, yeah. And how far they'll go, or how far others will go to stop them.
The case of Charles Dexter Ward. Perfect example. We have Joseph Curwen, Charles's ancestor. He had this passion for graveyards, seen there at all hours.
Not just visiting, though. He was doing chemical experiments. Flasks, crucibles, alembics, the whole setup.
Yeah, it wasn't just a weird hobby. Lovecraft links it straight away to something wrong, transgressive. People heard queer tales and sustained howlings from his farm.
And the livestock. That detail always gets me. The large number of livestock that seem to change constantly. That implies something deeply unnatural is going on. Replenishing ingredients, maybe.
Ugh, yeah. And he had the books, right? A library with the forbidden Necronomicon and other texts on thaumaturgical, alchemical, and theological subjects.
And the Necronomicon isn't just a prop here. It's presented as knowledge that can literally break your mind. It details entities, rituals, things humans weren't meant to grasp.
Exactly. And Curwen himself, he had this continued air of youth at a great age and this power of a wizard for digging up family secrets.
So it wasn't just magic tricks. It was a deliberate, disturbing defiance of natural laws of aging fueled by those forbidden books.
Which naturally freaked people out. It led to this secret and coordinated action by the townsmen, led by John Brown, to, well, eliminate Curwen.
They suspected hidden powers of uncertain extent. It's like society instinctively trying to purge knowledge that's too dangerous.
But the danger doesn't die with him, does it? Centuries later, his descendant, Charles Ward, finds Curwen's journal and notes.
And the key, inscribed, "To him who shall come after, and how he may get beyond time and ye spheres." It's like Curwen left a breadcrumb trail.
An invitation, yeah.
Yeah.
And Charles takes it. And the transformation? It's horrifying.
It really is. His speech changes, becomes archaic, modern memories get wiped, strange smells cling to his clothes, his metabolism slows down, his skin alters.
And that mark, the great black mole or cicatrice on his chest, like the witch markings matching a scar Curwen had, he's literally becoming his ancestor.
Oh, worse.
It's the ultimate loss of self, isn't it? A complete takeover. And it's not just Charles. Think about what Dr. Willett finds in Curwen's lab.
Oh God, yeah. The lekythoi, those Greek funeral urns filled with salts,
made from guards, human bodies or skeletons, and materia.
Possibly the mortal relics of half the Titan thinkers of all the ages. And that weird powder in the drinking cup, the kylix, dry, dull greenish efflorescent powder, it just screams ancient, nasty ritual.
Willett then performs this great purgation. Fire, disinfectants, sealing it all up. But then, chillingly, he never spoke of what he had done.
That's silence. It speaks volumes, right? It implies some knowledge is so bad, so sanity destroying, the only option is to bury it, erase it, even if it means carrying that burden yourself.
Then you have Herbert West Reanimator, another deliberate seeker, but maybe even more viscerally gruesome.
Oh, definitely. Wes is obsessed with reanimating the dead, but only exceedingly fresh bodies work well. His experiments with corpses of doubtful vintage lead to, well, hideous results.
Partial animation. Imperfect. Things that feel this brooding menace. And that one creature, the frightful carnivorous thing in the padded cell at Sefton Asylum.
It's pure hubris. West's unhealthy and fantastic mania just spirals. He starts vitalizing parts of bodies or joining them to non-human matter. It's described as fiendishly disgusting.
He's not just trying to cheat death, he's perverting life itself in these grotesque ways, blurring the lines completely.
Absolutely. And the ending. Wow, the cannibal monster and that menacing military figure, one of West's own reanimated soldiers from the war with the wax face and glass eyes, leading a riot to free the monster.
It's just so vividly horrible. The consequences of his obsessive quest just erupting into chaos.
So if you look at Curwen and West together,
right,
they represent that ultimate hubris, right? Trying to go beyond natural law.
Definitely.
And they cause these grotesque transformations in themselves or in others. It really makes you ask, what's the real horror? Is it the unknown entities out there? Or is it what humanity becomes when it tries to grasp or control that knowledge?
That's a heavy question because the deeper you go into Lovecraft, the more you see